Hey everyone, Rene Roth coming to you live, owner and director at the Karuna Centre for Natural Therapies here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. As you can see from the title of this live, a lot of people are taking vitamins and maligning the benefit of minerals and trace elements. Now, vitamins typically have had quite a high profile. And perhaps that's because, we go back to the days when scurvy was an issue, when, the people were travelling by boats for months and months at a time and they ran out of all their citrus and they ended up getting scurvy. But it was only some time later that they realised it was due to vitamin C deficiency. But they knew if they put oranges and lemons and limes on the cargoes that they would prevent that. So we understood the benefit of vitamins, vitamin D, and the importance of bone health, and now in immune function as well, and autoimmune diseases and so forth. Even women with breast cancers, they say, have a lower blood serum level of vitamin D than controls do. Pellagra, niacin or B3 deficiency. So vitamins have had, I suppose, a much higher profile in terms of when we are deficient in vitamins, what happens. But minerals, they're so essentially important as well. So when we look at what our body can manufacture and can't manufacture, it certainly can't manufacture vitamins. That's why they're vital to life. It can't manufacture minerals, nor can it manufacture essential fatty acids. So we need to source vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids from our food sources. But tragically today, we're not getting enough of all those three collectively, but I want to focus on minerals particularly today. So we're not getting enough of our minerals and trace elements. Why? Because basically agriculture utilises a plot of land. They want to get maximum yield, so they keep harvesting. They only put back superphosphate in the soils. And what's superphosphate? Well, it's nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. Well, that is 3 minerals. And the question you have to ask yourself, well, how many minerals do I need on a daily basis? Well, the answer is in the vicinity of 60 to 80 different minerals every single day. And sometimes people only focus on the macro minerals, the main ones, the calcium, the magnesium, the iron and so forth, and absolutely they're important. But what about the more micro ones? A little bit of iodine, a little bit of chromium, a bit of boron, a bit of copper. We need all these minerals as well. And I just want to touch on a few of the physiological functions that these minerals do give, to give you, I suppose, the importance of why we need to have a broad spectrum of minerals and trace elements. So calcium, important for your bones, important for your teeth, important for blood clotting, as is phosphorus as well. We have a look at potassium, so important for your heart rhythm. We look at sodium for fluid balance, for electrolyte balance. We look at, what else? Iron, of course, for your blood, and we know that's important for your carrying your oxygen around the body and to provide energy and vitality. We need zinc because zinc has 300 different roles just on its own to play for hormone production, fertility. The white spots on the nails can be silica and or zinc. We need copper as a more micro mineral, and this is important for your integrity of your blood vessels as well. Graying of hair, the suggestion is there that copper is important. Selenium, superoxide dismutase, glutathione, these are important antioxidants for your body. If your body hasn't got the raw ingredients to make these antioxidants, your body is behind the 8 ball in defending itself from environmental stresses and toxins, but also the fact that as we're living and breathing, we're producing free radicals as a result of metabolization, and our body should have a capacity to equalize and to negate the negative free radicals that are created as a result of respiration and living, breathing and eating. So we need to have sufficient raw ingredients of these minerals and trace elements to produce our own antioxidants. Yes, you might eat your citrus, which is rich in antioxidants. You might take your supplements, which are rich in antioxidants, but our body also needs to produce its own. And it's only going to make its own if you give it the resources to do that. So when we talk about lifestyle, yes, I advocate a good wholesome diet that's rich in your whole foods, that is rich in your fruits and your vegetables and your healthy grains, that is alkaline, that you have adequate water, that you're having a good lifestyle, you're doing some cardiac exercise, you're doing some weight resistance training. These are obviously all important things as well. And that you're topping up with vitamins, essential fatty acids. But a little bit more about minerals. Now, typically the example is someone's anemic, they might go to their healthcare practitioner, perhaps a doctor, and they're given an iron supplement, and what happens, they end up being constipated, the stool is black, and it takes a while for their iron levels to elevate. That's because it's typically an inorganic iron. So what we've found is that we're really looking to give people bioavailable sources of minerals and trace elements, particularly with iron. And I use a product in practice that I've been using for now 21 years. And in fact, this was the first colloidal liquid mineral solution that I took. And I noticed within 36 hours a change in my energy and my vitality and my well-being. I was waking early in the morning feeling, wow, I've woke before the alarm clock. I don't use alarm clocks anymore these days, but those days I did. You know, you want to wake when you finish sleeping, not to that electronic buzzer. My energy was lasting longer through the day and I didn't have that drop in 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I really noticed that benefit myself personally. So that gave me a lot of belief in a liquid colloidal ionic solution. And I started prescribing for my patients. I started to see some great results. And in my practice, being in 35 years in practice and using this for the last 21 years, whether it's your kids with ADD, autism spectrum disorder, behavioural issues, the ODD, the oppositional defiant disorder, I'll use categorically homeopathics with it, but you know, they need the minerals, they need the essential fatty acids, they need the vitamins as a wholesome, holistic strategy to support their health and well-being. And I'm going to flick to the other end of the spectrum, those patients with dementia or Alzheimer's or just who are getting really aged. And my wife's grandmother was in a nursing home in a care environment and she'd been bedbound for a number of years. And Vivian gave her some of the natural mineral drink and found that within 24 hours she was actually up and out of that bed, which was extraordinary. It's like, you know, the food in these places are not, like in hospitals too, ironically, is not sourced with good nutrition. It's often processed, it's mass-produced, and is lacking in vital force. So the vital force is something what we're really looking at to access from our food. So you need good live food, but you also need supplements to top up. And why are we topping up? Because of the degradation of the minerals in our soils. We have over-harvesting. So what happens if you keep pulling out of the pond or the soil all the food and the minerals and the trace elements and you're not putting them back in? Because agriculture got very clever and said, oh, okay, well let's put back superphosphate, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, because we'll see some good foliage, we'll see some good blooms, we'll see good fruiting, and it certainly looks wonderful. But it's really hollow. It doesn't have the taste and the flavour. It's not giving you what you would expect from, you know, a good-looking food. So, you know, looks are deceiving in terms of the calibre and quality of our food. So not only are our soils deficient, because if it's not in the soil, it's not in the plant. If it's not in the plant, you're not getting it. And that goes for so many of the minerals and trace elements as well. But not only is food then picked prematurely, so it doesn't allow for maximum uptake of nutrition or the development of the antioxidants as well, because they are protective for the body. But then you have the storage, you have the transport, you have the processing, you have so many other factors that impact on the calibre and the quality of our food. So by the time it reaches your table, the amount of nutrition in that food is very little. And this is why this saying, we're overfed and we're undernourished. So we're eating food that is high in caloric content, we're eating food that is rich in the carbohydrates, and perhaps it might have some really good fibre, but you know, what's the good of fibre if you haven't got all the minerals and trace elements there? So we're nutritionally deficient in spite of living in, you know, a society that has, definitely here in Australia and the Western world, an abundance amount of food available to us, yet we're sicker than ever. So that is the absolute oxymoron that we're seeing in our world today. The obesity rates, because of the processed food, and unfortunately, you know, fast food is often more economical than going to the fruit and veggie shop and purchasing all your fruits and your vegetables and your good grains and your proteins. It's an easier option, it's a quicker option, that's why it's called fast food, but we see the travesty of these errors in our way in terms of the health in our society: obesity, cancer, diabetes, and so forth, just to name a few. So categorically, you do need to top up. If you're not even taking your vitamins, you need to add your vitamins, your essential minerals, your essential fatty acids as well. So going on a little bit more from what I suppose I've seen in my practice, you know, the number one condition that people complain on is fatigue. And so it's really important to have your cells communicate effectively. And by having a broad spectrum, 60 to 80 different minerals and trace elements in one preparation, I believe is the way to go. And the one preparation, this particular mineral drink that I use in my practice, it's liquid, it's colloidal, so it's suspended in solution, it's organic, so it's plant-based, is actually sourced from the Naydati Moor in Austria, a pristine environment where over millennia the plants and the herbs in that environment have gone through their life cycles, deposited really rich biomass mass, which supports the body with all these different minerals and trace elements. And so it is liquid, it's organic, it's ionic, so actually many of these minerals are negatively charged. And we're led to understand that the lining of your bowel wall has a positive charge to it. So when you ingest the minerals in this liquid form, the attraction of the minerals to the trace elements is significant. And so you have very quick absorption, and that's what you're after. People want quick results in this day and age. So I'll often see incredibly quick results when people take this particular preparation. Some of the other things, a lot of people present with gut issues, digestive issues. They're missing on intrinsic factors, so they need their B12s, they need their minerals, they need their selenium, they need their iron, they need the magnesium, the copper, the chromium, the manganese, the silica. Silica for your connective tissue, your white spots on your nails is really important. We need the iron for your blood. You need magnesium for your muscle contractions and so forth. So these are just some of the minerals that we're going to access via this particular product. Mental health. Well, okay, so if someone has trauma in their life, they need to have adequate support. They need to create a network of support through their community, their healthcare practitioner, their family and their networks to support them through that. But interestingly, for a lot of people, mental health issues are actually a corporeal or physical illness where they're actually missing minerals and trace elements. And so when we start topping up with the vitamins, with the minerals and the trace elements, we're seeing many of these issues start resolving. And that is what's significant. So a lot of people are caught in a trap of poor health and ill health, not necessarily because of trauma, but because their diet is insufficient. They're not topping up. And it is an absolute fallacy. We can get everything from our food today because of exactly what I've just explained around over-harvesting and the lack of the broad spectrum nutritional profile that we require on a daily basis in our food. So look, I could go on forever, but that's not the goal of today. But what I do want to share is that we all need to top up with minerals and trace elements, vitamins, essential fats. The focus today is your minerals, your macro minerals, but don't ignore the micro traced minerals. We need to get them in a bioavailable and highly absorbable form and a liquid solution, and ones that are piggybacked and chelated with amino acids is also really, really good as well. But to get that broad spectrum, we need to have a liquid preparation. And I know there are many people watching today who access this particular product. Share this amongst your groups. If I truly wholeheartedly believe if more people are on these sorts of products, the health of our community is going to be enhanced, absolutely. It's going to weigh less on our public health system and our hospitals as well. And I know people are difference makers out there, and this is a product that can make a difference. So I've personally seen it in my health and well-being. I've seen it in many of my patients over the years, and I know many of you have who are already using this product, but a lot of people out there who need access to this product. So today is actually on special at $15, 15% off, and that's a saving of over $6, which is great. So I really encourage you to get connected with people in your communities today. Let them know that this awesome product is available. You can make a difference in someone's life. You can enhance their health and well-being, because a lot of people don't know about liquid minerals and trace elements. And the fact that it's liquid, it's very user-friendly. So whether it's your baby or an infant, and in terms of a dosage regime, for every year of life, you give 1 meal up to the age of 10, and then others will have 10 meals twice a day. But for an infant, they might just have half a meal or 0.3 of a meal if they're only 3 months of age, for example. So it is user-friendly. It has little or no taste to it. It's consumable, it's bioavailable, and I just really want more people to be on a calibre of this product that's going to make a difference in people's lives. So I want you to drop a 10 in the comments if you found this of help. Why? Because I believe, this is a 10 out of 10 product. It's going to give the benefits there, and it often gives quick results. And people are after quick results. Look, I put a caveat on that, depending on the type of illness one has. If it's just functional issues, the results are often quite quickly. But if one's been chronically sick for a long window of time, the reserves are empty. There's no battery. So I talk about minerals are the spark plug for your life, but also our capacity to store minerals is not great, so you need to have some reserve as well. So it's going to give you the spark, it's going to top your battery up, it's going to give you that energy and that key life force that so many people need. So I hope that's been a benefit today. If you need more information, feel free to contact me. I'm here in Melbourne, Victoria, for those people who are at a distance. So there we go. I hope that's given you some insightful information about the role and benefit of minerals and trace elements. Have an awesome day. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.